everybody, this is going to be a detailed TradingView tutorial. So let's start by creating an account. You go on tradingview.com, then click here, join for free, type in username, then enter your email and your password. So do the captcha, click on next. They send you an email. Once you receive your email, just open it and click on activate. So they ask to enter a name, so let's do it. Click on continue, and we arrived on the main screen. If you want to go to the charting section, we just click on chart, and you arrive here. So the first chart by default is already quite clear, but I like to make it even more clear. There's some information on this screen that I don't need. It's cluttering the chart, so I like to remove this. To do this, I go to settings. So two ways to go to settings: either you click here, or you right click on the screen and go to settings. So here you can configure the candlesticks, but to remove the information, it's here. So the symbol, I already have it here on the top left, so I don't need it on the chart, so I like to remove this. OHLC stands for open, high, low, close values. It's what's written here. I like to remove it as well. Bar change values, I don't use this, I remove it. Indicator title, I leave it. And indicator values, I don't use it. Appearance. Another thing I like to do is to remove this horizontal and vertical lines from the background. To do this, you just put these lines as the same color as the background, and there you go. It's already more clear. Navigation button. By default, it's like this. It's these buttons here which appear when you hover, you move your mouse over it. I don't like it because when you chart, sometimes it gets in the way, so I like to remove them. This is if you want to use TradingView to chart. And events, it's all this earning dividends. I don't like to have it on the chart. It's cluttering the chart, and there you go. It's already much simpler. Another thing I like to do is about the volume. You see the volume, sometimes you have the volume bars which get in the way and get super on the same level as the candles, so you cannot tell which one is the candle, which one is the volume. So to solve this problem, I like to move the volume below. So I click here, move to new pane below, and here you go. Now you have the volume on a separate pane that you can reduce in size. And at this stage, yeah, the graph is much cleaner already. I like it like this. To change the time frame, it's here on this button. So now TradingView even added some time frame below the minute for the pro account. If there's some time frame you really like, you can put them into favorite and they're gonna appear here. You just have to click on this button and they're gonna appear on the top. Another way to change the time frame is simply to type in a number on the screen. If I type 15 and type enter, it's gonna switch me to the 15 minutes. If I type 1, it's by default the 1 minute. If I want the 1 hour, I type 1H and enter. It's gonna switch me to the 1 hour. Or I can put 1D to go on the daily. About the candlesticks, so you can choose between different options, the bar, candles, other stuff. Same thing, you can add them into favorite as well. If you click this yellow star, it's gonna appear here. So maybe I'm gonna use the bars actually, I like bars. You can also set the colors of your candle. Yeah, so you can switch the color, I don't know, for example, like this. You see it's changing the color of the bars. I'm gonna go back to the default one. And there's one thing I like, which is the template. So once you have a setting that you like, you can just save it. Click on template, save as. I'm gonna type in white. And if I want to create another template, let's put, for example, if I want to have a black background, I'm gonna do it quickly. And I can save this one as black. And now just by using the templates, I can quickly switch from one to another like this. So the templates are very useful. I'm gonna stay for now on this black background, and as you can see, the scale appear in gray, so on black background it doesn't come out very much, so you can also change this. If I put it in white, you can see it much more clearly, like this. So now about the scales, when I right click here, I see that by default there's this auto thing which is checked. What this means is that when you move on your chart, the screen is gonna automatically follow the candles. There's two ways to remove this if you want. So you can right click and unclick auto. That's one way to do it. Or the other way to do it is simply to grab this and move it like this, and the auto is removed. You can also put it back by clicking on this button here, or remove it as well. Besides this, you have the choice between different stuff like logarithmic, percentage, or all this. You can choose it either from this menu or from the bottom menu here. So very handy to have it here for the quick access. And you can set your time zone here by clicking on this. So whatever, I'm gonna put this. And yeah, now when you want to load a chart, there's different ways. Either you can go top left, type the ticker name if you know it, or type the name of the company. It's gonna also show it here. You can also type it directly on the screen. Same thing, either by the ticker AMZN or the name of the stock, or you can also add it to your watch list here and then click on the chart and it's gonna appear. If you're not using TradingView to trade directly but only to chart, you can remove this panel in settings, trading, show buy sell panel. You untick this and it's removed. Makes the chart cleaner. Another thing is that if you want to have more space for your chart, you can just click on this button and now your chart is gonna be full screen. Another option on TradingView which is nice is that you can have multiple charts on one screen, but you need to have Pro account to do this. So let me well, let's put 8. And so yeah, you can have different assets on one screen. So in the beginning it's gonna put the same on every single screen, but you can switch the asset on every different screen, just like this. Very useful to track multiple assets at the same time. So now for the drawing tools, they are here on the left. So the first tab is about your cursor. You have different choice. I like the cross. Second is all about lines, different type of lines. So, I mean, for all of this, sometimes you have some shortcuts which are written here. You can also do this and add some as favorite, the one you think you're gonna use quite often, and they're gonna appear in a short access menu that you can keep on your screen. So you have different options on every drawing tool. This is a standard trend line. When you double click on it or right click and settings, you can adjust it. You can change the color here. So let's take a red like this. You can put it thicker like this. Different option here, put it dotted or full line. You can see all these options, and you have some cool options as well here. This can help you to measure move in time or in price. It can also show you the angle of it, and if there's a type of trend line that you said that you like, you can also save it as a template. So like this, for example. So that's a standard trend line. To remove it, you right click on it and click on remove, or you can click it, click delete. Besides the trend line, so you have the trend angle, for example. It's gonna show you what is the angle of a move. You have horizontal, vertical line. Parallel channel, let's speak a bit about the parallel channel. So I'm gonna go on this chart and on the weekly time frame. So the parallel channel, I think I don't really quite like it on log scale for charts which are moving a lot. So because as you can see, I cannot extend it as much as I would like to. I don't know why, there's some kind of bug on the log scale. So in order to avoid this trouble, I usually use the Fib channel here. And with this, you see, it's much easier. You don't have this type of trouble. So again, you have to set it the way you like. So I remove the background, and then I remove all Fib levels except for the 0.5 Fib, like this. And now it acts really like a standard channel with the medium line, and I can use it like this. So last thing about these lines that I want to show you, which I find quite useful, is when you put a line and you hold shift on your keyboard, your line is gonna move by 45 degrees angles. So that's quite useful to draw horizontal or vertical lines. And yeah, that's a shortcut I like to use. So the next tab is all about measuring tool. You see, it's all about Gann and Fibonacci. That's some that I like to use on a regular basis, that I usually add to my favorites. Let's show a bit Fibonacci, for example. So it shows like this. So now TradingView has added for the Fibonacci retracement and extension tool this log scale option. So when you are on log scale like this, you just tick this option, and it's gonna put you in a log scale calculation for Fibonacci tool. So I like to configure it like this without background. But I like to use only one color for every level. Yeah, and usually I use it like this. So that's for the Fib retracement tool. So now let's show the Fibonacci extension tool. I'm gonna show this on arithmetic scale. So what it does is that you measure a move here, and then you report this move to another price level, so either upper or lower, like this. So for example, here I have the 1-to-1, which means that the length of this move from here to here is gonna be the same as this one from here to here. To duplicate this trend line, what I do is that I hold Control on my keyboard and just move the trend line, and then I can duplicate it like this. Or you can select the trend line, Control C to copy it, and then click on the chart, Control V to paste it, and like this you can copy one drawing tool. So to remove your drawing tool, you can either do it one by one, or you can right click and remove all drawing tool at once. It's faster. The next tab is all about drawing tools, or geometric shapes they call this. Nothing very special here. It's well, what it says it is. So you have rectangle, all this. Nothing special here. Next tab is about annotations on your graph. So you can either have this text box where you can write whatever you want, change the color of it, add a background to it if you want. Nothing special here. There's this that I like to use as well, the call out, when I want to point out one particular point on the chart. You can add the text, you can remove the background if you don't like it. And next tab is all about chart patterns. So it's either Elliott waves or more traditional chart patterns, like I don't know, head and shoulders, for example. So yeah, let's show what one head and shoulder. Here you can trace it like this, and yeah, I like to use Elliott wave, so I usually add this in my favorite line. Yeah, and you can, you know, put your count here. You can remove the wave if you don't want to show it. You can change the color as well, or custom it. When you take a custom color, you can add this color to your default bar here. If you don't like the color that TradingView is offering you on this default bar. And yeah, you can change the degree of it. Well, the lower the degree, the lower the numbers are gonna be on your chart. Next tab is about measuring tool as well. So for example, you have this which helps you to define your risk to reward on a trade very quickly. It shows your risk to reward ratio here. So it shows you if your trade is gonna be most likely profitable or not. You can do the same for short position, and you have all these measuring things for measuring the time here, or measuring the price, or measuring both at once with this box here, which is as well the same as this tool here. So it's doing the same thing, and this tool you can also use it by using the shift shortcut. So I hold shift on my keyboard and it's gonna make it appear here on the chart. You have this bar pattern thing which can allow you to duplicate some bars on your graph, to play around and put it here to see, well, what will happen if you do the same price action here. Next tab is icons. So a lot of them here, you can play around with it, change the color, yeah, do everything you want. The next one is zoom. So you click on it, if you want to zoom on a part of the graph here, if you want to zoom out, you just click on this button after. Next one is the magnet. So the magnet, you have two types. The weak one, so when you want to draw a line, the weak magnet is gonna attach your line to the closest price bar when you are close to the price bar, like this. But if you're too far from the price bar, it's not gonna attach it. So that's the weak one. The strong one is gonna attach your line wherever you are on the chart, like this. Next one, stay in drawing mode, is when you want to draw multiple trend lines. So I draw one, and now I don't have to re-click anything. I can just draw another one, or another one, another one. I don't have to re-click on this every single time. If I want to untick this, I just have to right-click on the chart, and now I cannot draw anymore. If I untick this, every time I want to draw another trend line, I have to go back here to reselect this tool. So this one, lock all drawing tool. When I tick it, I can't move my drawing tools anymore. I untick it, now I can move it. Next one, when your chart becomes too cluttered, you have this. If you want to have more clarity or start fresh, it's gonna hide all your drawing tool, and you can also make them reappear. You can also hide them one by one. You right click on one, click hide here. If you want to make it reappear, I'm gonna hide, let's say, my Elliott wave as well. You just go here in the object tree at the bottom, and you can make them reappear here one by one, or you can also hide them if you want. Next one is the bin, to remove either indicators or drawing tool or both. When I remove all of them, everything disappears. If I want to make them reappear, just Control Z this, and I can make them disappear again by pushing Control plus Y. So for drawing tools, you can also define some templates once you've set them in a certain way that you like this. So you just click Save As, and then you can have all the templates you want. So, and that's it for all the drawing tools. And one little trick for people who like hotkeys, you can click on this at the bottom right of the screen, and you have a list here, keyboard shortcut. You have the list of all the shortcuts you can use on TradingView. Everything is written here. So I'm not gonna show all of them, but another one which I did not show yet that I use from time to time is to hold Control on the keyboard, and then Control and then left arrow or right arrow to move on the chart like this. You can use Alt as well with the left or right arrow to move on the chart. So now for indicators, I click here, and you have different category. Built-in are the one built in by TradingView. Public library, it's indicators which have been coded by some TradingView users like you and me. My script, it's the indicator you code yourself. Volume profile, it's about volume indicators. And the marketplace is indicators which have been coded by TradingView users and which are not for free. It's indicators that you can buy. So let's add some. I'm gonna put RSI, relative strength index. Same thing, you can add some on favorites. So when I click this, I have a favorite list which appear. So let's add the RSI. You can, so this bar here, if I don't want it, I can hide it here. So the RSI, same thing, you can custom it to your preference. You can also move it up or down with this type of button here. If I want to have it above my graph, I just use this. If I wanted to have it full screen, I just have to double click on the indicator. Same for the chart. If I want to remove the indicators, same for the volume. If I want to remove all the indicators, I can right click and remove all of them. And to put them back, Ctrl Z. And same thing for indicators. Once you have some indicators you like, you can save it as a template. I'm gonna call this standard. Save. So now if I remove all my indicators, I can just bring them back by clicking on standard here. And I can also add my template as favorite, and they're gonna appear here. I can just click on this S here and they're gonna reappear. Now for the chart layout, I'm gonna draw something very quickly. Just very quickly. Like this, I'm gonna add a count on this. Let's say I'm happy with my graph and I want to save it. I do it here. So I'm gonna put the name of this graph, like coin. And if you have autosave on, it's supposed to save every minute, but I always like to click on this just to make sure. So let's say by accident I remove my drawings. I can reload my chart layout and my drawings are going to come back. Another option which can be cool is this compare button. So I'm gonna show maybe on the weekly, and if I want to compare a graph to this graph of Bitcoin, I just add it here, and here you go. You're gonna have the same, so the blue one is gonna be Litecoin that I just added, and this one is Bitcoin. So you can compare the move on the same graph of two different assets. That's a cool option. Now for the alerts, there's different way to add them. So you can either use this button here or the hotkey Alt plus A. So you can choose your price here. That's one way of doing it. One way which I prefer is to use this directly. So because there you can choose directly the level at which you want the alert to be triggered. Alerts, you can also add them on the indicators. For example, if I want to know when the RSI is in overbought or oversold territory, I can just do this. Well, you need the Pro version to do it, but it's the same, it works the same way. And yeah, so I switch back to my Pro account here. But another type of alert that you can set is on a trend line. So you draw a trend line, then right click on it, and you can add an alert on trend line, which means that it's gonna alert you when the price crosses this trend line here. You also have a replay feature on TradingView. So it's here, bar replay. You can set the speed of the replay. So let's say I want to replay from this point. It brings me here automatically. I press and play, and it's gonna replay the bars one by one. It can be very useful to study. You can also trade directly on TradingView if you have one of those brokers. So I'm gonna show you with paper trading how it's done. So if you have one of these brokers, you can directly place your orders via TradingView. So you have market order, limit and stop. You can set a take profit, a stop loss, and you place directly your trade here after you connect TradingView to your broker. That's it for this tutorial. I hope that was helpful, and I will see you all next time. Bye.